What's up, everybody watching on YouTube? First of all, I would like to start out by wishing everybody a happy new year, and I would like to thank all of you for the support you've shown me on YouTube and on Twitch TV. Hopefully, we can make this one a better year. To start the year out with my videos, I decided we would go with a top 10 neutral legendary card list in Hearthstone. Now, I previously made a top 10 list and it was quite trolly, so I felt I owed it to people now to make a actual list. I mean, for fuck's sake, guys, Golden Kappa Pride was #1 on the last list. Now, this is post League of Explorers, so I did include adventure modes and craftable cards. So, as I go through this list, I will go from 10 to 1 and give you a brief description after the card as to why I considered it in that spot. I know people aren't going to agree with me, but that is what the comment section is for, so you can give me shit there. Without further ado, guys, let's get on with the list. Number 10. Now, the number 10 slot was actually very difficult for me to choose in the end, because in the end, this is a top 10 list, but I will give an honorable mention to Harrison Jones, who didn't make the cut. That card, though it may not be popular in the meta right now, is certainly going to make a comeback. Trust you me, boys, it'll happen. So, honorable mention to Harrison Jones, a great card to have in your collection. But in the end, the number 10 slot goes to Blood Mage Thanos, for the reason that 2 mana, 1 spell power, and Death Rattle draw a card that is extremely good value. Now, this card isn't going to single-handedly win you a game, but you combine it later on with spells, it can be absolutely lethal. He's also a staple in pretty much every single rogue deck out there. I've seen him in a lot of mage and shaman decks. I wouldn't be surprised to see him branch out into other decks. That is why this is a great card to have in your collection. Now, on to the number 9 slot. Alexstrasza lands herself in the number 9 slot because she has been a staple of pretty much every control deck since the dawn of Hearthstone. With Control Warrior and Freeze Mage still going strong, you are not going to be able to play either one of those decks without Alexstrasza. Also, an 8/8 on the board is a big body, but because she lacks certain versatility, this is what lands her in the number 9 slot at this point. On to number 8. Ragnaros the Fire Lord comes in appropriately at the number 8 slot. Ragnaros is an 8 mana card with 8 health, 8 attack, and at the end of his turn gives you a burst of 8 damage. That is huge for the slower classes. It can give the additional removal push or the additional push for lethal. Ragnaros has recently been on a small hiatus, but has been making his way back into the meta. Hell, we've been seeing him in Secret Paladin decks now. So, Ragnaros is clearly one of the better legendaries in this game that you definitely want to have in your collection, because this is a card that is going to be around from the beginning to the end of Hearthstone. Craft Ragnaros the Fire Lord. On to number 7. Number 7 on the list is Justicar Trueheart. Justicar made her way onto the scene in Hearthstone's pack expansion, the Grand Tournament. Initially, I was unsure about this card, but now that she has been battle-tested throughout the meta, I can definitely say this is a legendary you want to craft. Just think about those Control Warriors getting 50 armor, or those priests getting healed for 4 health. That is a huge, huge annoyance. We all been there before. Plus, you have the Paladin's hero ability, summoning 2 of the 1/1 reinforces and getting nailed with a Quartermaster. The combos are endless with Justicar. That is 3 major classes that use that card. If you're looking to play any of these classes, Justicar is a must-to-have in your collection at this point. On to number 6. We're gonna be rich! I couldn't help myself there, guys. I had to do it. Coming in at number 6 on this list is Reno Jackson. Reno Jackson is the first non-craftable card that has made its way onto this list. Reno can be obtained in Temple of Osiris in Hearthstone's newest adventure mode, League of Explorers. Let alone with his battle cry, Reno is a 4/6, which is also a pretty solid body for 6 mana. Reno's been tested in basically every single class at this point. I can't really think of one that it hasn't been tested in. So when you have that much versatility from a neutral legendary, it is definitely worth investing into getting this card. I don't see it going anywhere anytime soon. It is the best card from League of Explorers, and it is in Wing 1. I suggest doing adventure mode, getting this card, and adding it to your collection as soon as possible. On to number 5. Coming in at number 5 on the list is Yousara. Yousara is a 4/12 body. Do you know how difficult it is to remove a minion with 12 health unless you have an immediate removal card, Siphon Soul Execute? This causes people to use their heavy removal, and if they can't, Yousara is the gift that keeps on giving. Receiving dream cards at the end of each turn that she's alive, unless silenced, which leaves the big body on the board for you, is enormous value. If you can keep this card up, this will remove minions on the board, continually give you cards, and just give you infinite value the longer you keep it on the board. It is used in a multitude of decks. You see it in Priest, you've seen it in Control Warrior, you've seen it in Control Pally, you've seen it in mid-ranged Pally. Need I say any more? This card is extreme value. It is one that you definitely need to craft for your collection. If you don't have it, get it in there now, because this gift keeps on giving. Now guys, we move on to number 4 on our list at this point. Here we go. Coming in at number 4 on our list is Loatheb. Loatheb is the second non-craftable card on this list and can be found in Hearthstone's Adventure Mode Naxxramas Wing 2, which is called the Plague Quarters. Loatheb is a card I would immediately add to pretty much any collection, because Loatheb is the kind of card that will win you games. When you're fighting against classes that are spell heavy, such as mages, druids with their forces of nature, or especially rogues, this card can stop the class dead in their tracks, buy you another turn, and win you games. I can't even tell you how many times I've won games by using Loatheb when I've anticipated another class using a spell to kill me to buy me that additional turn. Loatheb, the value is disgusting when it comes down to stopping spells. I would suggest immediately getting it. It is worth it. This is why I say sometimes to save up gold for adventure modes other than just purchasing regular packs. Loatheb is a great example. On to number 3. Coming in at number 3 on our list is Emperor Thoresen. Emperor Thoresen is another non-craftable legendary card and can be obtained through Wing 1 of Hearthstone's Adventure Mode Black Rock Mountain, which is Black Rock Depths. For 6 mana, a 5/5 body that drops the value of your cards in hand by 1 mana each turn he is left unchecked. That is another card that just keeps on giving. So this is a card that immediately has to be dealt with. Usually draws out quite a bit of removal and leaves your higher mana minions less removal to be dealt with. This is one of the reasons why I think Emperor Thoresen is one of the best cards in the game. Also, he has been used by basically every single class in the game at some point, and I don't see that changing at all. So Emperor Thoresen is definitely one of those cards you need to get in your Hearthstone collection, and one of the best legendaries in the game. On to number 2. Coming in at the number 2 position on our list is the Banshee Queen, Sylvanas Windrunner. Sylvanas Windrunner is a must-have card for any Hearthstone collection. She is the type of card that can change the entire course of a game. Sylvanas, a 6 mana 5/5 with a death rattle that steals an opposing player's minion. This is a card that cannot go unchecked and left on the board. There is a multitude of combos, say Warriors with Brawl, Priests with Shadow or Death, where you can basically make it a mind control for other classes. Hunters, you could use Hunter's Mark in some situations. Paladins, you could use it with equality, but gone unchecked, this card will wreak havoc on you. This card immediately slows the game down and forces your opponent to act, so it can change the course of an entire game. It usually will draw out heavy removal, which means your opponent's not going to have it for later. That is why I consider Sylvanas Windrunner the second best legendary in Hearthstone and a must-have for any collection. If you do not have this card, go craft it right now. Finally, we're getting to the top of the list. Let's get to number 1. We have finally come to the end of our list, and to no one's surprise, the number 1 spot goes to Dr. Boom, simply because Dr. Boom is overpowered. A 7/7 body for 7 mana with 2 1/1 boom bots with a death rattle that deals 1 to 4 damage is just game-changing. This card is used evenly amongst all classes, and you almost see it in every single deck. This card brought Big Game Hunter into the meta as a must-use card in pretty much every deck. So that is why Dr. Boom is the clear choice for number 1. You don't have Dr. Boom, this is the very first legendary you want to craft for your Hearthstone collection. So, we've come to the end, and I would like to thank everybody for watching. If you like what I'm doing, throw me a like or a sub, it's really appreciated. If you have any comments or disagree with my list, please let me know in the comments section. Hope you all enjoyed the video. I will see you guys next time. Peace.